Good morning, my loves. Happy vlog day. Tuesday for you. Friday for me. Look at that. I told y'all this week I was going to look like I had some sense. My girl Nina came and got me right. This is my one retwist for the year. Probably not for the year, but I don't know. But let's talk. Oh, I got to get some stuff. Hold on, y'all. We're going to pause. Okay, I'm back. I'm back like crack. Okay. Also, because if I was a fan, I would be wondering. I change my Stanley once a week, maybe every 2 weeks. Cause I think I had the yellow one like the last 2 videos, maybe the last 3 videos. Cause sometimes the bitch be moving, but we're gonna always recycle the Stanley. We got more than one because my sister thought it was important to buy me more than one of these $50 ass cups. I'm okay with it, but sometimes I get upset. All right. So this week we're going to be talking about change. We're going to be talking about change from such a progressive place. We are going to be, look at the shorties, they're cute. We'll get there. We're going to be speaking from this place of leaning on the phrase "let them," right? And let them can mean so many things, right? Let people do whatever they want to do. Let things become whatever they're going to be. I'm going to talk about surrendering to change, and then also just like letting people do shit on their own time and realizing that their timing is actually the perfect timing, and we don't get to tell people how to do things in life. You know what I mean? And so that is kind of where I find myself in this life right now. Okay, so let's talk. Let's really talk. We got some things to talk about, y'all. Now, in the spirit of let them, I want to first tell you what made me come up with what I was talking about this week. And then I have 3 stories from my life that I'm going to tell y'all. And then we're going to get up out of here. So the reason that I wanted to talk about change. First of all, we're in Mercury retrograde. It was just a blood moon in Capricorn. I'm going to be real with you. Jupiter is in Leo. Like, it's a lot of shit going on in the cosmos that's creating a lot of craziness down here on the ground. And a lot of that craziness has been smacking me in the face, okay? And y'all have been seeing it. Y'all have been seeing me unravel. Y'all have been hearing me rant. And this past weekend, something happened to me that just brought me to a place of peace. And then things have been happening in these last few weeks. I mean, the last few days that have made me realize that, like, that place of peace is not just like, I done lost my mind, I just don't get nowhere else to go. That place of peace truly is like a real, like I said a few vlogs ago, a flow state with this life thing. Side note, because I see it in the frame. I went to a sipping paint with one of my friends, and I started painting and then got too deep into sipping. But we're going to finish this garden that's on top of this woman's head. And then we're going to put my painting up on the wall. But anywho's, so I'm getting to this flow state in life where it's like, I understand what the problem was before. I know how to fix the problems from before. And on top of fixing the problems from before, I know how to create a tomorrow that's going to make me feel a lot better. And I want to talk about it. And I want to give stories from my life that help me ground myself and feeling like, yeah, girl, you right. You got this. Okay? So that's what we're going to talk about. First thing, I have to go get a prop, y'all, because I have to show y'all. It's not a sad thing, actually, because I'm actually really happy about this change. But those of you who know my partner knows that he used to have locks. These locks are well over. Let's measure one, actually. Where's my tape measure? Well, look in my tape measure. Here we go. 6 years and 17 inches of hair. So in 6 years, his hair ranged anywhere between, the shortest one I seen was like 6 inches. 6 to 17 inches worth of hair over the last 6 years of our life, because I locked him up like our 2nd year of our relationship. And I have maintained those locks. I've prayed over those locks. I've cried because them locks wasn't doing what I wanted them to do. I have been through the gauntlet with this hair. And he woke up. Well, he's been thinking about it. He's been talking about it. But one morning last week, he truly did wake up and was just like, I don't know how long this hair gonna be. And I think it was Thursday. He came home from work and started cutting his hair while I was still at work, honey. He was, hold on, you know what I gotta do, y'all. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, he came in while I was still at work, cut them bitches. And honestly, when he first cut it, I wasn't too sure, baby. Before he went to the barber and the barber cleaned it up, I was just looking at his head like, you bald head, boy. But when he came home from the barbershop with that fresh cut, I was like, okay. You're looking like a man. You're looking like a grown ass man. I'm gonna be very honest. Even though cutting the hair makes him look a little younger, I'm actually gonna put a picture of him up on the thumbnail of this week. But cutting the hair made him look younger. However, it also gave him a more mature look. Like, he looks like a man. You know what I mean? Selfishly, I'm happy to have the longer hair in my relationship now. Okay. Because at first, he was fucking me up, okay? Hair down to here, down on my titty, and my hair up here. You know what I mean? So I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I am, the person with the hair in the relationship now. It's also crazy that I have been praying for a lighter load, and both him and my youngest stepson are cutting their hair. So now I don't have to do both of their hair anymore, and that is really super helpful. I don't even mind financially shelling out the money for a few haircuts, because keep y'all haircut, okay? And along with his haircut, my partner has been making some internal changes that kind of help me iron in the point of this week's vlog, right? Of like letting things and people change at their own times and paces. I feel like when you're in a relationship, especially when you are in a relationship period, I ain't gonna put no stipulations on that. When you're in a relationship, it's so easy to just be in your partner's business. Like friendships, relationships, all of those really close connections, it's just so easy to really just kind of like be all up in your people's stuff. And a lot of times we don't realize that we keep people from being their best selves because we kind of make them burned out and frustrated about the thing that they should be doing, right? Like sometimes we force things on people so hard that they don't even want to do it no more, right? And I've never wanted to be that person. For instance, last week when we talked, I told y'all last week I took the week off with my middle school stepson. You don't want to wake up in the morning and have structure and do what you're supposed to do? I don't want to make you my boy. I don't. Last week I took the week off, and I took the week off because if you truly don't want it, then me forcing you to do it ain't gonna do nothing but make you hate it more. And if you do want it, but you need to be reminded that this is your goal, your dream, then sometimes it takes just sitting down and realizing, damn, I'm bored. Like, I'm bored because the person who was making me at least do something, at least that was something to do. At least I was using my brain. Okay, maybe I want to do this again. You know what I mean? He had that experience last week. He was in a house, in this very house, bored as fuck, on the phone with his friends. His friends was like, oh, we finna go outside and play basketball. You wanna take your phone outside and set the phone up, we can all play? He came in here and asked me, doing it on his own time. Maybe me telling him to go outside and do it because he needs to get a little sun wasn't the motivation he needed. Maybe he needed that motivation from his friends. Now, since last week, and even the 2 days that he's been here this week, he's been getting up, going outside, dribbling for a little while. That came from him, though. That didn't come from me telling him, I don't care what you say. Every morning, I'm going to make you get up. Why? Then I'm going to make it miserable for him. No, I'm so grateful that he's choosing to do things on his own accord. However, it is so uncomfortable. It is so uncomfortable. I've experienced that discomfort with my partner when I was just like, okay, I gotta figure out I gotta let him figure out what he gonna do. And, I gotta be there to support him if it goes bad, or I gotta be there to support him if it goes good, but I gotta be there. That, for me, is the hardest part of loving somebody. Whether it be a kid in your life, your partner, your mother, whoever. When you have to love a person enough that you have to leave them alone, not like forever, because we're going to talk about people we got to leave alone forever this week as well. But when you have to leave a person alone in their processing, in their own journey is so hard because you're still there. You're still seeing the possibilities for mistakes. You're still seeing all of these things that can make you want to. Y'all, my period bump from last week, I busted. And every time I talk, I see it, which means that every time other people talk to me, they see it. Anyways, when you are in doing life with a person, especially like as a parent, you want to just force them because you know the big picture. You have experienced life. You are here at the big picture. You want them to know. Ooh, can I turn my head? It's upsetting me now. You want them to know that, you want them to know so much because you know so much now. However, what I have to remind myself is I know so much because I've experienced these things. I've learned them through mistakes. My stepson is going to have to learn these things through mistakes. My partner is going to have to learn these things through mistakes. And you, as the person who loves them, has to love them enough to know that your words are not going to be more impactful than their mistakes. And sometimes we want that, right? Like we want to tell a person a word that's going to make them want to change more. This is upsetting me so bad. I'm sorry, y'all. We're going to tell them a word that makes them want to change more than their mistakes. Or we're going to tell them something that will stop them from making the mistake. We can't. There's literally nothing. I should start putting y'all like right here when I do that, so that way we can still be looking at each other. But there is nothing you can say to a person who is on their own path that is more impactful than them hitting their head and being like, oh shit, hot water is hot. You know what I mean? Etc. And so for me, I am learning how to do less and to allow people to do what they need to do. Let them, right? Quick commercial break. Yeah, I see these nails. They're shorter than what we have ever done in my life. These are actually my natural nails with an overlay over them. This is going to be what I wear year round. I'm going to wear an overlay over my natural nails. However, for big events like birthdays, vacations, etc., I will still continue to go to my same nail tech. She and I had a really in-depth conversation. I also just spent a few weeks away from her and realized that, like, I can't make her the villain in this situation. I shouldn't have set my grown ass right there and let her do my nails. And I didn't like them. And then walked out and went to go celebrate, my anniversary, as if I was not very upset with the service I was given. Like, I was supposed to choose not to pay for that service if I didn't want it. And so I need to take accountability opposed to trying to point the finger at a person who truly did wrong still. I'll never take away from the fact that she did wrong because I did speak up. However, in this life, you will speak up and people will challenge your boundaries. And so you just gonna sit back and let them do it. Like, I have to give myself a kick in the ass for that. But it's not even because of that. Like, the reason that I'm gonna do overlays most of the year is because I crochet, I sew, I do so many things. I type all day at this job. And this just looks so much more clean cut. This is so much more beautiful. I noticed a lot throughout the weekend. My partner just kept looking at my hands. He was just like, I love your hands so much. Teeth still clean. He was like, I love your hands so much. Your nails look very polished. It's just a cleaner look. And I'm getting older. I'm about to be 35 this year. It's time to clean up my look. Now, that doesn't mean that every now and then the hoochie mama, hood rat, knee home training, get away, is always complaining. She don't show up. She gonna always show up. She lives in me. I am a hoochie mama through and through every day of my life until they put me in the ground. Okay, well, they're not gonna put me in the ground because I want to be cremated. But anyways, the point of this is I need a more mature look. An overlay is a cheaper and more mature option for my nails. And I feel like it's a more healthy option because all I'm doing is just growing out my nails and putting a little hardener on it. Because that's all the acrylic overlay is, a little hardener. So, excuse me. So that's what we're going to do. And then on top of me continue my overlay journey, I got my partner his first pedicure, I think in his life. I think he said he's never went to go get a pedicure. If not, then his first one in his adulthood, because maybe his mother took him as a kid. But either way, he loved it. And so I told him, like, I want to treat you to that at least once a quarter, maybe even once a month, if the money do right what it's supposed to do. And so I go get him a pedi. I give me a pedi and an overlay. This overlay should last me at least a month. We're gonna see, because it's been a week and they look good. So next week it'll be 2 weeks, and they'll probably just be growing out. So I feel like if I do one overlay a month and just let the overlay grow on off of it, you know what I mean, and then come and get another one. So we're gonna see. That's the quick intermission between these stories, because I already told you 2 of the stories, right? So let's get caught up. We're 15 minutes in. Sometimes the talking, you gotta reel yourself in. Our concept this week is let them, right? First, I told you the story of my partner cutting his hair. My children that I keep, I'm gonna detox them, and then I'm gonna finish wicking them just in case he want them back in his head. But I don't even think he want them back in his head, honestly. I think he good. I hope he good, because I like his hair like that better. I like the haircut better. But I am still gonna detox them. I am still gonna wick them up, and I will keep them if he does not choose to get them back. But him and his hair and his maturity was all on him. However, these are things that I've been wanting to happen a lot sooner. Like, I don't know about the haircut. The haircut wasn't something that I really wanted to happen a lot sooner, but I did want his mindset to start to change, and I'm watching the mindset change, so I'm super happy about that. My stepson, I'm not going to force you not to be your beast son. And I'm not going to force you to be a famous basketball player if that's not what you want to do. However, I'm also not going to lie to you and tell you that next year you can walk into somebody's school and try to join their basketball team, and you ain't dribbled the ball none this summer. Do with that what you will. He decided to start to get out there and do what he wanted to do, and I love it. Now, these were 2 examples of people that are still in our lives who we have to sit back and have the uncomfortable experience of letting them do them while they also are still around us. This final story comes from something that I just saw on the internet while scrolling, and it reminds me that things could be very similar to you. People could be very similar to you and still not be your people. Over the past weekend, another one of my friends celebrated her birthday. Her birthday is on the 4th of July. She went out with one of my former friends, because her and my former friend are mutuals, because we all went to high school together, right? They actually went to kindergarten together, so they actually are friends before me and her are friends, because I didn't meet her into high school, right? I didn't meet either of them into high school, right? My former friend was out with my friend, and I saw her tagged in the post when I was, looking through my friend's post. So I knew I was going to see her in the pictures. And I'm scrolling, I see her in the picture. She's so beautiful, y'all. It looks like she's wearing her hair natural. She got her hair just, split in the middle. Cute little, it looked like it was like almost a wash and go type situation. And she had on a crochet shirt, because she started crocheting back when I started crocheting. And she looked good. She looked really good. And I thought to myself, damn, me and this girl are so similar. Why aren't we friends? And I remembered to myself that just because you and somebody do a lot of the same things, doesn't mean that y'all do it from the same end of the spectrum. Doesn't mean that y'all do it with the same intentionality. Doesn't mean that y'all do it in a way that means that y'all need to be friends. You have to let people be themselves, even if themselves is away from you. That was really hard for me, because my brain, even though my brain has a lot of gray spaces, one of the black and white spaces in my brain is, if I'm a good person and you're a good person and we both like the same thing, why are we not friends? The reason for that is, being a good person, first of all, is a spectrum. Liking the same things is a spectrum, right? I learned that going out with my partner and his friend for her birthday. I'm a fan of Ari Lennox, but on the spectrum of concert going, no. Now I'm about to go to a Kehlani concert later on this summer. I feel like I'm a fan of her on the spectrum of concert going. I'm about to go to a Boss Man D-Lo concert with my man. I feel like I'm on a span on that spectrum. Everything in our life has a spectrum. And I think that for people, we consider things to be either is or ain't, instead of seeing it as a degree, right? Like, me and her are aligned in a lot of ways. However, we're not aligned on the spectrum in a way that we can be in each other's lives. And I had to make that make sense in my head, because I'm such a all or nothing type of person. And so if you're watching this and you are all or nothing like me, I hope this helps you. Like, we cannot just look at things as either it is or it ain't. It's just not possible, especially in this new world where we got the internet and we have so many more perspectives on things. We have to understand that everything in life is a continuum. Everything in life is a spectrum. And the way we find our people is we navigate the spectrum from an honest place. This is what I know I am into. This is the actual honest degree that I'm into it. This is the honest degree this person is into it. Maybe we're not aligned, and that's okay. I had a moment, y'all, because I saw her. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. So what you just heard right now is where I came to after my crash shop. Let's talk about my crash shop just a little bit, right? When I first saw it, I spazzed, I'll be honest. Because I was just like, this bitch stopped being my friend and be a great value version of me. That's so fucking arrogant, because she probably was crocheting before I was crocheting. She just started back crocheting because I started crocheting. Now, the pole thing, I could take accountability. I feel like I could take my victory lap for her, because even if she started pole dancing before me, I know for a fact that I made her love it more than the fuck she did before. God damn it. Okay, I'm gonna stand on that. Like, I don't give a fuck what a motherfucker gotta say. I'm gonna stand on that. However, I still don't hold the right to make it seem like her journey with pole, or her journey with crochet, or her journey with being a natural woman has anything to do with me, other than the fact that we were both around each other when it happened for the both of us. I have to take myself out of my ego, but I'm not gonna lie to y'all. When I saw her on Saturday or Friday, whenever I saw the pictures, I was in my ego hard. Like, bitch, is it that this time wasn't big enough for the both of us? Like, you ain't want to be my friend because you wanted to bite like Steezy? But I'm thinking to myself, like, that's not even my Steezy. I'm a maximalist, and she looked very minimalized. So, like, chill, bitch, chill. You know what I mean? I am the Leo. I don't like to be the center of attention. However, I always assume that I am. That is the truth about your Leo friend, okay? We're going to say that again. I am a Leo. I don't like to be the center of attention, but I always assume that I am. That assumption will going to get me fucked up every time. And it ain't fucked up by nobody, because who going to touch me? But fucked up by my own expectations, by my own frustration, by my own merit of being fucked up. Like, girl, get over yourself. It's over with. The friendship over with. Hang it up. Okay, bitch? And that was what I had to tell myself this weekend. Like, everything got to end. That shit needed to end. Let it go. You know what I mean? Some things are not going to end. Some things you got to take your hands off of and let it go. I did that in my household. And so, as I wrap us up, under 30 minutes, because we don't have a whole lot to talk about, I actually got my points out today. As I wrap us up, let them... Let things get good. Let things get bad. Let people do what the fuck they want to do. Let people do what they rather do. Let people leave you. Let people get into your life. Let people be good to you. Let people be bad to you. Let people be who they want to be. That's one of the things that I stand on in life. I hate having clarification. I think that was one of the reasons why I was feeling a way about even the situation with my partner and the young lady we were attempting to date. And now I just, lovingly refer to her as his friend, because that's who she is. She's his friend. And she's a dope girl. Like, I love her to death. But my thing is this. The reason that I hate having clarifying conversations is because for me, it's like, why do I got to clarify that? Like, I'm not a woman who will ever ask a man for some money, or ever ask a man to do certain things for me. But if you're around me and you don't desire to make my life easier by either doing things for me financially or doing acts of service for me, you're probably not going to be around me long. My partner, the very first night he spent over my house, y'all, he took a poop in my house. Woke up, took his morning shit in my house. I mean, I guess you got to take your morning shit. You got to take your morning shit. But on his way out my house to work that day, because he had to work and I was staying at home, so I laid in bed, he took out my trash. Simple. Any man who has ever come to my old apartment and left out that back door from that apartment at Oak Park and looked at their trash bag and didn't grab the trash bag on the way out the house probably never fucked me again. Because my thing about life is this. Yes, I will communicate my needs. Yes, I will communicate when somebody has done me wrong. I'm learning to do that a lot more effectively. We know this. However, I will not communicate to you why it's important to treat me right, consider me, have my back, any of those things, because nobody had to tell me how to do that to you. And it is my belief that there are people in this world that I don't have to tell to do that for me. And so this week, my declaration to myself, to any people pleaser, to any person who is out here trying to unlearn things in this life, let them. Let people leave you. Let good people come into your life. Let things get really bad before they get really good. Let things get really good and don't forget that they probably gonna get bad again. Let life happen and stop trying to force it. Stop trying to grab this hoe. Stop trying to control it because you can't and you're fucking yourself up. Baby, I'm talking to myself. Fuck. You can't control none of this. But you will lose your fucking mind if you do not realize that you have to be okay with the fact that sometimes it ain't go the way you want it to. Sometimes it's not going to work out the way you need it to. Sometimes it's not going to look the way you want it to. But you got to trust that the way that it looks naturally is the way it's supposed to be. And we got to adjust to that. I don't even know why I just started crying. But whatever I am feeling, I welcome it. I welcome it. I'm going to take a moment in this moment because I don't even know what's wrong. Maybe nothing's wrong. Maybe I'm okay. Maybe for once in my life, in a while, I am okay. And I haven't been okay. I've been struggling. I've been struggling in silence. And something came off of me this weekend, y'all. I just stopped caring about a certain stuff. I stopped letting certain stuff hold me down. And I'm feeling so good. He cut his hair, but I'm feeling lighter. In this life, you can only control how you see things and where you decide to act from that perspective. And that is what I'm working on. And I hope you are working on it too. I love y'all, and I hope y'all have a great week. Let me go fix my face and get myself ready for work. See y'all next week.